Okay, this is just a short video to show how I made a rack for the back of my FE250. Why would I make a rack for it? Because I like to do a bit of adventure biking, and the 250 is really great for the local rides. I can load up my GV side bags, lay them right over the top of that, and this part here supports it. And then over on this side, got the muffler sticking out there, silencer, so I just put a little bit of a aluminum, very light guard on it that bolts right to the muffler mounts, the end piece mounts. Then on this side I've got some little rubber bushings underneath it, so it sits there, and it's very strong, so the GV bags will sit right over that, and it doesn't melt the bag, and yeah, it keeps the exhaust off, so it'll sit right over there. And then back here I can put something else on if I want to, or I can just put my single duffel bag right on the back of that. It's pretty strong. This is heavy gauge stainless steel. It's about, what's it, about 2 centimeters, something like that. Not very big, as you can see, and then just welded one support across to keep it from moving back and forth. And it's mounted right here to the subframe. This is a composite subframe, so it mounts right to that with a little bit of a rubber underneath there. Bolt goes right through there, and it's very strong. And then down here it mounts to where the subframe mounts down here. You have to use a real flat bolt there so that it doesn't interfere with your ankle, but you can get it down there pretty flat. And I just basically flattened the end of the pipe there with a hammer, a little bit of heat, and then ground it off good and smooth. And all these bends that were made here, it looks pretty tricky, but you do it as you put it on and off and on and off. You just keep bending it. And with the heavy gauge stainless steel, it'll keep it from folding. Like right here, you see, just slightly out of shape there, but even with that real tight bend, it's still in good shape and not like crinkled. And you can see the bolt there again to the subframe. Then I've got my custom handles I made on there as well, which are really handy when you get stuck or somebody's helping you. Now I put this bottom support here because there's silencer works for that on this side, but on this side it keeps it from bouncing into your tire. It's still a little tricky getting the bags mounted. These bags are probably a little bit large for it, these GV bags. I usually use them on my other bike, the Scrambler, but they work pretty good on here. Or again, you can just mount, because you've got all this strength all the way out to the ends, you can mount just a single bag on there, like this waterproof bag I've got there stuffed with my camping gear. Or you can mount a gas bag or a gas can on there. And it also strengthens the frame. So people have had some trouble with these composite subframes, saying they break. I've never experienced that. But it also adds strength to that, because you can get hit pretty hard on the side, and it eats up some of that, protects the sides, keeps them from getting too scratched up. I like to do a lot of kind of light enduro trail riding, so I am falling down quite a bit. And it does protect the sides. This also protects it a bit here, and it's very light because it's just aluminum, so you're not adding a lot of weight. I suppose the frame, it does add a few pounds to it, but the protection that it adds is, for me, more than worth it. A little extra weight. This is such a light bike already, it's fine. And also, if I was to wheelie over, I made it just out to the edge basically of the fender, so it will catch this. May break the mount here for the license plate. If you're wondering what that is, it's Georgia, the country of Georgia. Okay, so that's just a little update on that. How did I make these bends? Basically, I used actually rebar bender. You put the rebar in there. Basically, I put a piece of rebar across there, and then I just pull that around, and it bends it to about the shape I want. You can heat it. It's got a nice long handle with it. You should be able to pick these up at just about any hardware store. They're for bending rebar when you're installing it in cement. Making cement, you'll need bends on it and things like that. And it works great for a small pipe as well. That pipe is for a different project. It may look like a lot of work, but I built this in an afternoon. You do need to do a little bit of welding here. Now, if you can't do that, you can make the parts and then have a friend weld it. Basically, just for these little tabs, for this extra piece here, and for the cross piece. Now, if you're not going to carry bags and you just want it for protection and just for a little extra support, you don't really even need that extra support arm on there. I don't do a lot of tricky welding. I have this little Chinese buzz box that does my welding. Well, I use it for welding. And then I've got some stainless steel rods up here, and along with my regular rods, and they do the trick. That's about all you need. Stainless is very easy to weld. Comes together very fast. Normally I just took this off, but I have my tusk bag on here. It also gives a really good mount for my tusk bag for all my tools. You know, tire kits, anything like that I can shove in there. And then anything bigger for just day rides, I throw in a little backpack. Well, that's my rear rack for the Husky FE250. Of course, this will work on any FE model from the 501 all the way down. Basically have the same setup. Now, you could go out and buy a real expensive one, or, you know, that's what I usually do. I'll go online and I'll find what other people are making, and I'll duplicate it or just make it myself. This time there wasn't much available that I found rack wise, so I went ahead and made one myself. So feel free and try it out. I got the metal secondhand. It was cheap. It's only about, I think I got 2 or 3, 2.5, 2 or 3 meters, so about 6 to 9 feet of this stainless steel, just one rod, and then cut it and shaped it and bent it, and it was a lot of fun building. All right, be blessed. Have a Merry Christmas.